Have you been watching any of the Dark Side of the Ring episodes by chance?
Yeah.
I know you're busy. Did you get to watch the one on Abdullah yet? It just came out this week.
I'm up to speed on all of them. I've watched them all.
What did you think of that episode? Just curious your opinion.
He was a draw.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a funny story I've told before. I don't know if it's still out there, but when Pee Wee Anderson, referee, and myself, we went to wrestling one Thursday in Rome, and I want to say we were like maybe 17, something like that, 18 years old, and we were by the rail right by the door of the locker room, and Abdullah the Butcher kicked the door open and came out for his match, and it scared Pee Wee so bad he pissed his pants. And I mean bad pissed his pants. And he just had that, you know, at that time.
That aura.
Yeah, he had this, there was just something about him that was so over the top. It immediately had you asking questions. Well, is this guy for real? God, it just seemed legitimate that he was just a savage. And, you know, but it was so over the top. I mean, if you really think about it, how could there have ever been a Abdullah the Butcher match that wasn't DQ'd immediately?
Yeah.
If there were any rules,
It wouldn't have worked. Yeah.
Yeah, unless they just announced every single match that he was in a no disqualification match, because a minute into the match, 2 minutes into the match, he had the fork out stabbing a guy. Rhyme, you know, just thought process goes, well, why didn't the referee just, you know, DQ that?
Did you ever take a fork from Abdullah?
I never was in the ring with Abdullah.
Not even at a Denny's. You didn't take a fork from him just out of his hand, or no?
I would never affect his food process, that's for sure. You might have really got.
You would have barehanded the waffles and pancakes.
The badass Abdullah and the other guy, the character, might have became the same.
Hey, he had it. You know what I noticed? He spoke very well. Like, to me, he was the scariest carved up head monster looking guy as a fan. Now here he is, still carved up head, very well spoken, great set of teeth. You know, I'm sure it's all false as they could be, but looked good. It was just sad to see, though, what has happened financially and things like that for him. You know, it is what it is. But I really enjoyed that episode. Probably one of my favorite episodes so far this season. I'm just curious, as someone who worked with him, who knew him, what you thought about it.
But I you know what? I never really did work with him. I was never close. I mean, when I made one trip, which this is kind of a funny story too, as I made one trip when I first got to Charlotte. You know, you don't know anybody and you're just trying to hook up rides, and some guys already had like a thing going that certain guys rode together. You know, it wasn't a gimme you could just catch a ride with somebody to one of the towns. And Paul Jones, for whatever reason, the first couple of weeks I was there, you know, asked if I wanted to go to Fayetteville with him. I said, well, sure. And at the time he was managing Abdullah the Butcher and Barbarian, and I think Billy Graham, superstar Billy Graham, was one of his guys too. So Paul, who had been in the Carolinas forever, and his wife had a really good job as like an Amway. She was way up there in Amway or something, and had won she won a Cadillac.
Okay,
for all
so
the
she's
stuff
doing well, yeah.
She's kicking ass, and Paul, you know, was established and all that. So it was me, Barbarian, in the back. It was Abdullah, passenger seat. Paul was driving his Cadillac, and Abby sitting in the shotgun of that Cadillac, which is the premier seat, right? Mm-hmm. So we do the show, and we come back, we pull in the beer stop, Paul's out getting gas, and, you know, we go in, and I get a six-pack. Barb, I think, got some dip. We came back out. Abdullah's still sitting in the front seat, and Paul got done pumping the gas and walked around, and window goes down, and Abby goes, hey, champ, 2 chili dogs, champ, 2 chili dogs. And Paul Jones looked at him. So let me get this right now. I'm watching this reaction. I mean, it was the slow burn. And Paul Jones went off on him. You want me to go in and get your hot dogs? I'm driving you to the town, all that. Get your fat ass out and go get your own chili dogs. And I mean, it just came out of nowhere and blew a gasket. I thought that was, once I got home and got to thinking about it, that was hilarious.
Yeah, and I guess, and Abby, as you call him, just sit there and took it. Did he go in and get his own chili dogs?
He sat there and never moved. He didn't say much either. I don't think. He might not have said anything on the trip home.
Talk about awkward.
Well, awkward was the word because I didn't know if they were working me. You know?
Yeah, right.
I didn't know.
Arn's like, what is happening here?
And I didn't know any of the three. I'd never met any of the three at all. And it was just one of those
So this
deals.
is just your first experience with it, with these guys?
Yes.
Coach asked if you ever been to Abby's restaurant. I got to ask that. It's a great question.
No, sir.